Hello, welcome to my channel. I am a budget mama based in the UK and my little family of 3 is working to a cash budget to help us keep control of our finances. Today's video I'm going to be stuffing out, I'm just going to get rid of that spider. Come here little Spidey. Downside to stealing flowers from the garden, you end up with spiders on your table. There you go, have a nice little home. Any more? Forgive me if you see any creepy crawlies walking around the table. I'm feeling a bit frazzled today. My husband tested positive for COVID, which not ideal. And we didn't have it that long ago. It was like 3 months ago that we had it. 3 months, something like that. So I'm just feeling a bit frazzled, and I'm not, like, it sounds really bad, but I'm not used to spending 24/7 with our child. I love her to bits, don't get me wrong. I have her during the day, but my husband does a lot in the evenings and overnight. So I do dinner, he plays with her, he does bath time and bedtime, and I get that little bit of a break before, like, it's our evening together. I get a little bit of me time. I have had no me time for 3 days and I'm feeling a little bit frazzled. Oh, and it's only going to get worse. I think I tested positive for 10 days. And if I've got to have another week of just me and her 24/7, I might, well, I'm definitely going to cry. I love her to bits, and you know, I obviously understand that it is not her fault, but being around my feet 24/7 shouting mum, 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 that is definitely her fault. Oh god. I've talked to my husband via text message for 3 days. I have literally opened the door and flung food at him about 5 times, and the rest of the time it's just been me and a toddler. Yay. So things that I've learned from the past few days, I would not survive as a single mum. I would, I think I would struggle without that support in the evenings. And it's not just the evenings, it's overnight. So overnight, if she cried, he'd go through and I would get to sleep. I've not had solid sleep. I've been sleeping on the sofa, so I've not exactly been sleeping very comfortably anyway. And it's also been broken sleep because she shouted at least once a night, every night. And I've had to go up and, you know, deal with her, give her a glass of water, whatever. And it might only be 20 minutes, but it's that kind of broken sleep, and it's really, whew, I'm feeling a bit drained. I should probably be napping instead of recording this in that rare 90 minutes that I get to myself, but never mind. I'm struggling to have like a coherent train of thought today. Whew. I'm going to get it sorted. I apologise if it's not to my usual standard. My flower game is on point compared to last week when I had no flowers in the garden that I could use because they were all soaking wet because it was peeing it down. And yeah, so my flower game's doing best today. Anyway, rambling as always. First thing we're going to do is look at what's left. There is not a lot left. I have, yeah. So if you joined me last week, you will know that I allowed myself £50 for food. So I talked about rolling our food budget, so having £30 one week, £40 the next, £50 the next, and that way we have kind of, it averages out at £40 a week, but we have kind of a cheap week, a normal £40 week, and then like a luxury week where we can either top up on expensive things like coffee or, I don't know, store cupboard stuff, you know. This was my £50 week, and in my last Wednesday video, I said if I have 50 quid, I will spend 50 quid. And I did. I bought a lot of convenience stuff. I bought a lot of like meat substitutes. We got 2 blocks of cheese, which vegan cheese is ludicrously expensive compared to dairy cheese. And we got 2 blocks, which we never would have done. We never buy 2 blocks of cheese in a week, but partly because we had the money, you know, it felt okay to spend it, and partly needing kind of convenience, well, not convenience, but like easy lunches and stuff that I could do for us and, you know, my husband and throw at him in a baggie. It made sense to have like cheese sandwiches. But yeah, so I blew most of it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, got 5.25 left, which is better than having none left, but it's not great. Petrol, we still have petrol in the car, and I think my husband only put 50 quid in, ish. But I have an inkling that possibly some of the leftover got spent on something else that wasn't petrol. I don't know. I can't ask him because he's locked away. I have my husband locked up. Oh, it sounds so bad. Personal care, I have no receipt and I have no idea what I spent this on. But we've got a good chunk left. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got more than £8 left in personal care, so that's something. Noisy, noisy. Clothes and shoes we've not touched, so there's still 50 quid in here, so we're not going to pay into our clothes and shoes. So that means that I will at least have £20 going into savings this week, as well as all my change. And miscellaneous has a little bit. I don't know what I spent it on. I feel like I've kind of failed this week. I've not been keeping track of stuff as well. I know I'm a bit frazzled. I've got a lot on my plate. I understand why, but I'm feeling a bit disappointed in myself that I've not kept on top of stuff. But I'm going to let myself off the hook because I'm going to practice what I am going to practice what I preach. Which in a previous video I said that we've got to give ourselves a break. We are not going to be perfect. We are going to fail some weeks. We're not, I mean, I've not blown the budget, so that's something. It was close. But I've not blown the budget. And so what? I've not got a few receipts. Does it matter? Not really. We've got £6 and a penny left in miscellaneous. And we've got £3 left in the pet fund. I'm going to be completely honest with you. £7 was not spent on cat food. It was spent on coffee and cake at the coffee shop yesterday because, well, I'd taken the little one into town and I wanted coffee and cake, and the most disappointing thing was that we got the coffee, we sat at the table was a little bit wobbly. I thought I must not knock the table. She did something, I leant over to stop her, I knocked the table and I lost half my iced latte, her like baby chino thing, and got iced latte all over the cheesecake that we ordered. Yeah, so I spent 5 minutes cleaning that up because there was only one woman on her own in the coffee shop serving, so I couldn't leave her with all of that mess. So it wasn't exactly a nice relaxing trip to the coffee shop. And there's also that thought at the back of your head of, oh my god, everybody's looking and judging and blah 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 blah, and who cares? I'm probably never going to see them again, so it doesn't matter. But in the moment, I would be surprised if I was not bright red, because I just felt like such a fool. Anyway. Right, let's try this again. It feels like one thing after the other this week. So I recorded everything, got to the end of it, had a look. It is recorded wonky, so sorry about that first section of the video. And then I ran out of storage on my phone, so I'm having to re-record the rest. So hopefully we've straightened out a bit. Apologies again for the beginning. I wasn't going to restuff last week's leftovers just to take it out again. So I'm starting from where it's cut out and we'll do the rest of it. So, yeah. So that's everything that was left from last week has come out. I've got a lovely dish of pounds and a few bits changed, so that's going to go in my penny savings challenge, and I'm hopefully going to have some cash left over from what's going in this week to go towards my weekly savings challenge. So food, what I'm going to do, I did and ah about this more the first time I recorded this, but I've decided now. So what I'm going to do, this should be my £30 week, but I'm aware that I'm on my own with the child and I'm going to need some kind of easier, convenient stuff for the likes of lunches. Anything, I need stuff that I can cook or make and put in a bag and lob at my husband. So I'm thinking that's going to be more kind of pre-made stuff. Probably a lot more cheese, let's face it. So I'm giving myself 40 instead of the 30, and I am going to put 10 additional pounds into the miscellaneous fund. And that will kind of give me a little bit of a buffer for my food shop. So if I need a treat or chocolate or wine, so much wine, I will have money for that. So 20, 40, 60, 70 goes into our car fund. This just covers petrol. We shouldn't use that this week because, well, my husband's not in work and that's what uses most of the petrol. But my daughter and I are hopefully still going to a family gathering this weekend. So my daughter and I are still testing negative. We are, as I say, there's a family do this weekend. If we are both testing negative and we have no symptoms, then we are comfortable going and my family is comfortable as going. Husband obviously will not, but it's his birthday soon. Oh, I really hope he's better for his birthday. And I've just heard my daughter wake up. Nuts. So £10, maybe she'll stay upstairs long enough for me to finish this. £10 goes into self-care. Maybe I should have put the wine fund in self-care. Clothing still has 50, so nothing is going into clothing. Miscellaneous is going to get its usual 10 plus the £10 kind of additional buffer from the food fund. I'm hoping that I should have most of that left. Maybe, I don't know. And then the pet fund gets £10. Maybe that will actually get spent on the cat this week instead of coffee. Hopefully. So that leaves me with £20 left from what was stuffed this week. That can go into my weekly savings challenge, and then all of that wonderful change can go into my penny savings challenge. So let's see what we have in total. So we've got 42.77 left from last week plus the 20 from today's stuff. So as I say, all of this change is going to go into the penny savings. Note's going to go into the weekly. So let's do the note first. So looking at the weekly challenge, I've already filled my 20, so I'm going to add £1 to it and fill my 21. So fill 21. I initially thought, oh well, I could fill 10, 9 and 1, but figured better to save those for weeks where I was struggling a bit more. So I've got a good chunk of these filled. 21. It's going well. It's going well. and we'll get there eventually. So that is 21 filled. We'll let that dry over there. So that gives me, let's say, 42.77. So I've got 21.77 left. So let me just figure out what I can fill with that. So looking at it, I can fill 357 through to 353 plus 202 and 200. Yes, that's what my calculator is telling me. So that's what we're gonna do. So that's 200 and 202, and then 353 through to 357. And that gives us the 21.77 that we have left. So all of that is going to go into Toothless, who is here and eager to be fed. So Toothless has been fed. So that's my penny savings challenge. That's looking pretty good. Weekly savings challenge we put 21 into. And my spending money for the week is sorted. So that is everything, guys. I will catch up with you on Friday. I can still hear my child moving around upstairs, so I'm going to go and check that she is not wreaking havoc and or flooding the bathroom. I'm going to go. But I'll catch up with you on Friday. Thank you so much for sticking around for this video. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you are new and you've liked what you've seen, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my videos. And do remember to catch up on my previous ones, maybe not the first few, because they were not quite to the same standards. Although if you want to laugh, go and watch the first one and see what I have progressed from. Take care. Happy budgeting.